Okay, so last time we discussed about Section 34, the allowable deductions. Now we go to Section 35, allowance for personal exemption. This provision class, along with the others, was amended. And I think there was a question in the bar 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. You have to remember when this law took effect. I think it's in 2008. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. June 17, 2008. Uh, RA 9504, amending the NIRC. So there was this amendment in Section 22, income tax rate in Section 24, and the, the optional standard deduction and the definition deductions from gross income, and this one, Section 35, because previously you have you have these three kinds of taxpayers that are allowed additional or personal exemptions, like the married individual, the single, and the head of the family. The problem or the question was crafted in such a way that the previous law was a portion of the problem, or the question was that the previous law, wherein there were single, married, and head of the family individuals, was applicable, and this 9504 is also applicable. So you have to take note of the year which this provision or this law amended Section 35, because right now there's only one personal exemption. It's 50,000. Whether you are single, married, or head of the family, there's no more distinction. And they've increased that for to 50,000. And additional exemption for dependents, you have 25,000, but not to exceed four. Okay, that's for legitimate, illegitimate, adopted child, not older than 21 years. And these are the keywords: chiefly dependent for support, unmarried, not gainfully employed, and living with the taxpayer. But regardless of age, okay, but regardless of age, if mentally or physically incapable of self-support, then you can claim the additional exemption for 25,000. And for change status, taxpayer may claim for additional exemption in full for the taxable year. Now, it doesn't really matter right now if you change your status, but if you have this additional exemption, then you can claim that there's no proportionate, okay, like the wife gave birth to a child, fourth child in December. You can't claim that for the whole year. And it's just the same with if the spouse dies or any of the dependents dies and becomes 21 or is gainfully employed during the taxable year, you can still claim that for the taxable year only. Okay? And the state of the deceased taxpayer may also claim personal and additional exemption for the taxable year when the decedent died. And you have this reciprocity. This is applicable only for non-resident alien engaged in trade or business. You remember, it's found in paragraph D. It's that alien engaged in trade or business is allowed personal exemption in the amount equivalent to the exemptions allowed in the income tax of his country, provided Filipino residents are accorded the same treatment. But it should not exceed the amount of the Philippine allowable deduction. Okay, that's applicable for only for non-resident alien engaged in trade or business. You remember the aggregate stay of more than 180 days. Okay, so that's about it for Section 35. And for additional exemption, we'll go to that later, because only one spouse can claim for this additional exemption if the default one is the husband, and if they they agree, the wife may claim for exemption. There's one spouse only. Okay, this, both spouses cannot claim additional exemption. Okay, so that's it. That's for Section 35. Next, we will discuss the other provisions. I want to discuss about this Section 40 more extensively because there's this an interesting case, and I haven't encountered any question in the bar about this determination of recognition of gain or loss. Okay,